All right, so I think this is the remote, and for the people that don't know me, I've been on stage here before. I always present myself the same way. I'm the Italian guy with the Greek name. I don't speak Greek. I'm getting there. It's very difficult for me. So, I know that you will be better off drinking raki right now because it's 6 p.m., but I'm going to try to be fast. So I'm actually going to go ahead and skip everything. And no, I'm joking. I'm going to go back. We're going to talk about how to choose the right technology for your vacation rental. I know that a lot of you is already using some sort of technology and a PMS and a channel manager and a website. But today I wanted to do a little bit of going a 4 or 5 steps before and asking yourself, do you actually need technology and how can you choose the right technology for your company? And maybe sometimes you don't even need to. As a matter of fact, the first point is you need to ask yourself the questions, as we say in Avantio. It's like a kind of a screening of your own company to understand if you need technology. And I always start with a nice story. I used to work in sales again as a phone company, like one of the biggest telephone company in Spain, because I live in Spain. And once there was this old man, about 85, and he came to me and he was like, I want to buy an iPhone. And I was telling him, what do you need an iPhone for? And they were like, oh, but I just want to use WhatsApp and send pictures on Instagram. And I was like, do you actually need an iPhone? Because you don't need to spend 1,800 euros if you're going to use it just on WhatsApp and, Instagram. Of course, I did sell him an iPhone because I got commissions, but that's not the point. The point is, he didn't need a smartphone. He needed a dumb phone, right? Because it just needed for a few things. So that's the same thing in this sector, right? If you are a company that doesn't need the technology, maybe you don't need to invest in the technology and you can invest in other parts of your company. So I'm always asking people, did you ask yourself these 5 or 6 simple questions? The first one is, how many properties do I have? Okay. The second one is, on which OTA or portal do I publish my properties if I have more than one? Do I want a direct booking system? Or maybe I don't need it. And the last one, can I afford it? Because as well, we need to counter in, we are all property managers here, and we take a commission, maybe 20 to 25%. So you need to calculate that technology is an investment as well, right? So you ask yourself, do you have more than 10 properties? Then yes, you do need a technology. If you have 1 or 2, you don't. You have more than 3 portals or 5 portals, then yes, you do need a technology. Do I work only on Airbnb? No, I don't need a technology, right? You see where I'm going with this, right? So do I want direct booking? Yes, of course. Then yeah, you need a technology. Oh no, I don't believe in it. I'm okay with Airbnb. Then you don't need a technology. And can you afford it? Yes, and yes, because it's very cheap and everyone should afford technology actually. So these are only 4 of the simple questions, but what I'm saying is that you need to scan your own company and your own situation so that you can understand if you actually need a technology, right? How many of you is using a PMS right now? Raise your hand. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3. The one that I'm not using, I'm going to talk to you later, and we're going to talk about technology, but it's not a full area right now, but it's more or less 50-50, right? So that's the same in every country. It's not just in Greece. Let me see. Everyone can afford it, exactly. So now, once you decide and you say, yes, I need a technology, you need to start thinking, what kind of technology do you need? Is it the pro one or is just the basic one? And we're going to look at a couple of examples of how do you make the difference between a basic technology and a pro technology, right? It's basically functionalities, okay? It's the same thing as the smartphone and the dumb phone, right? And let's start by saying, what are the 3 main technology? What are the heart, the must-have, if you're working in a vacation rental sector? And it's essentially 3 of them, right? It's a PMS, a property management system, a channel manager, and a website, or rather a direct booking system, right? Because you should always have a direct booking system. Otherwise, you're always going to pay commission to Airbnb. Like, hi, Airbnb, but 15% is a lot. So you should always think about having a direct booking system, right? So let's start with analyzing what are the pros and what are the bases of a PMS, right? So these are some of the features. Do I have a laser? Oh, I can just point. These are some of the features, right? So it's booking management, that's the basis, an iCal, email automation, a unified inbox, an operation management tool, AI. I know that we're all tired of hearing about AI, but an AI is important now. Is it compliance with the law? Like, does it have electronic invoices, for example, to send everything to ADE? And do they have a marketplace, which I was going to get in a second what a marketplace is. So again, booking management, you find that in the basis and in the pros. Same thing for iCal, same things for email automation, and you get the idea, right? So once you pass the number 3 or number 4, and you say that, like, I do need a unified inbox and an operation tool and so on, then you should start to look in the pro side of the PMS rather than, the basis. Instead of getting a Fiat 500, you should be looking at a Ferrari, for example, Yes, I made a car example because I'm Italian. So, channel manager is pretty much the same, right? There's key features. It's, do they have more than 5 OTAs? Do they have calendar connection only? Do they have price connection? Do they have a content API? For those that doesn't know what a content API is this magical thing that you press a button and you create a house everywhere on every OTA, right? I call it magic, but it's like 85 technicians behind that make it possible, right? Does it have any business tool, like, analysis, data? We just had a nice presentation from Beyond about data. Data is super important. Does it synchronize reviews? Does it synchronize promotion, statistic? And again, this is the same as before, right? If it only stops at price and availability, then it's a basis one. But if you wanted a pro one, you need to be looking at more and more and more features. And that's the same for the website. Now, for website, it's a little bit different because a lot of people, I find out that I was in a presentation last week in Italy, and about 75% of property managers don't believe that a booking engine and a direct booking engine is useful. And pardon my French, that's bullshit. You should always have a direct booking system. Because nowadays, guest knows that the OTAs are just intermediary, so they always try to book directly with you, And if you don't have a direct booking engine, then you're losing money. You're just giving money away to OTAs. So, difference between pros and basis, a booking engine, so that they can actually make bookings. Do they use your own logo, or do they use their logo for their booking engine? Do they have reviews? Do they have automation in payments? Do they have a marketing tool? Like we launched 2 years ago, a cart recovery on our website, for example. When the guest gets to the last stop of the booking and they don't book, because they have to check with their wife, because they decide which house they need to book, right? And they come back, let's say 3 days after on your website, they have a little pop-up that says, finalize your booking. And they press it and they go to the last stop of the booking process, so they don't have to do the search again. That converted about 13% more direct booking last year, thanks to this little feature that we put in our website, for example. Flexible search, like, they let the guest check, I want to travel for 5 nights in August, and it gives different options with different price. And an online check-in, do they do SEO and SEO optimization? So those, you can take a picture, at the difference between basis and pros website, okay? So a lot of people ask me, what is the perfect PMS, channel manager, and website? Obviously, I could say us, but no, it's not that easy. Because actually, the perfect PMS and channel manager website doesn't exist. It's an utopia, okay? It's the gift of nothing, absolutely nothing, because it doesn't exist. Because the best PMS is actually the one that answered to the previous question that you asked yourself. And if you make a list of the needs of your company and you find a technology that can give you like they say, 90% of your needs and you only have to put 10% from your side, then you should sign right away. Because that gets to closest to 100% that you can get. So keep that in mind. When you're choosing a PMS, for the people that didn't raise their hands, you need to look at something that it's not the best, but it serves you the best. You know what I mean? Now, the last point I wanted to address is enough tech. Like, these three things we saw. Is that enough for me to run my property management company? In some cases it can. But again, if you have bigger needs, like, you want to have more, more data, revenue management, or you want to have more tools, there are like about 50 companies outside there with their stand. They do all of these things. So you should be looking at not just these three things, right? But also things like revenue management, like beyond pricing or price labs, or you should be looking at, I want a better operation tool to manage my cleaners when they know how to use the phone. But if they don't, I just send them a WhatsApp. So there is Operto, Breezeway, Doing, there is a guest experience hub, there is a data analysis. Sorry, I'm going to go back. Data analysis system like Key Data and Lighthouse. So ask yourself, like, do I need to do this in a more pro level? Then yes, you can manage, you can use another 2 or 3 technology into your company, right? Keep in mind that in Europe, the average property management company that manage more than 50 properties, they use at least 4 technology or 5 technology into their company, okay? Last but not least, where do I look for it, right? How do I start looking for a property management system? I mean, it's very easy. It seems to be there is more PMS than property management nowadays. But that's another easy question. You can go to events like the one we are today, or the Vacation Rental Was Summit, or even the event we organize every year in Spain for customer and potential customers. Because in there you can meet all of these partners, all of these people that does these things, right? You can go on Capterra. How many of you knows what Capterra is? No one. Oh, there you go, one person. Capterra is a website that reviews any type of software in the world, okay? If you go in there and you say vacation rental softwares, then it comes up a list and you can see what people reviewed it, if it's good, what is bad, what is their prices, and it's almost every PMS in the sector, it's on Capterra, okay? Or best thing you can do is actually ask your competitors, your colleagues, your property management company that are using already a software, and tell them, like, which software are you using? Are they good? Are they bad? Are they cheap? Are they expensive? You can ask your partners, you can ask your portals, because those people are already been using a technology for a while, and then they can tell you what is their experience as well, okay? So, to sum up, we say that ask yourself the questions, right? Do I need a technology, and what technology I need? I have 15 seconds, almost done. What are the bases between pros and basic softwares, Is there enough tech? Do I need anything more than a PMS, a channel manager, and a website? And where do I look for them, right? So you might ask yourself, how do I do it? How can I choose the right technology? And that's even easier than just go outside and talk to people, because you can get your phones out now. Get your phones out. I have 13 seconds, so until you don't get the phones out, you cannot go drink raki. Everyone, I want to see the phones. See the phones? See the phones? Yeah? That's good. And then you can scan this code, right? And you find all of my contacts, and I can tell you which software is best for your company. And actually, I always finish presentation like this. If you don't want to contact me, don't contact me. It's fine. But I'd be happy to tell you what technology suits best for your company if you come and talk to us, or if you go for a drink and you send me a text tomorrow, I can do that too, okay? And ευχαριστώ everyone.